Hello there. Now buckle up, ladies and gents, we have a packed show today. So the people of one English town have had their fill. 200 of its concerned citizens have signed up to a group that aims to conduct uniformed patrols across their now crime-riven Dorset seaside town of Bournemouth. Yes, uniformed patrols. The group, called Safeguard Force, and I'll put up the I think we're having StreamYard. Oh, no, we're not. We're having technical problems caused by the soft squidgy thing on the screen in front of you now. However, this is the Safeguard Force. And they've been set up by a local businessman called Gary Bartlett, who aims to protect the most vulnerable in our town, especially women, children, and the elderly. So there you have it. Now, I do have to ask, are the 200 concerned citizens unaware that they pay a local group called the Dorset Police to do that very thing? Or they could volunteer as special constables, as long as they abide by the woke training manual, of course. Or has the town's population lost faith in the police? Because that's what it sounds like to me. And you do have to wonder if this will spread across the country as the police fall further and further out of favour, don't you? Now, one little known fact is that the police already use their own private security to look after their own headquarters and places like that. Now, the usual suspects are out saying that this new force is an attack on migrant hotels, etc. But I say if that's where some of the crime breadcrumb trail leads, then so be it. What do you think about this Safeguard Force then, Richard?
Very interesting, Jeff. Yes, indeed. I mean, what we're talking about, really, it's not about Bournemouth altogether. We're looking at a complete breakdown in society. Bournemouth just happens to be where there's been some particularly bad incidents, and that the people are, well, obviously coming together. You've got as you said, 200 locals, ex-military, security workers, trained first aiders, and now they're all out on patrol in Bournemouth with stab-proof vests on them. Not because they want to be, but because the police have just completely lost control, it appears. And the state has abandoned its side of the social contract and the deal. I mean, what else can you extrapolate from this? The mission of this group apparently is to protect women, protect children, protect the elderly. The ones that always been told to be quiet and to go home and wait for the next apology from the police, and some sort of spokesman sort of stands there in front of the cameras and says, we're dealing with this. Where's the evidence? That's what people are thinking. I mean, look, at the end of the day, what these people are doing is not cosplay. They've raised over, I think was it £3,000 in gear through crowdfunding for body cams, radios, and I think they're building an SOS app that people can press if you're in trouble.
I'll just show you what they said, what they've got on their actual. They've got a website, obviously, and this is what they've actually said on the website. Comprising over 200 volunteers from diverse backgrounds, including security professionals, ex-military personnel, first aid responders, and concerned residents, Safeguard Force is a non-political, inclusive initiative focused on protecting all community members regardless of race or religion. Formed to provide a visible, reassuring presence, Safeguard Force volunteers dedicate their time to patrolling areas identified as high risk, reporting incidents and supporting Dorset police efforts. And the one thing they have said is that they will be, or they are, properly insured to do this. So you can see where they're going with this. But I'm not sure how Dorset Police views this, because I'm not sure they've actually got the full endorsement of the Dorset Police right now.
They haven't.
So the Dorset Police probably see it as competition. What happens if they're better at it than the Dorset Police are? And Will all those volunteers who I'm certain are doing this for the very best reasons, will they end up having to be properly trained, licensed, and have, importantly, undergone all the specialist woke training to ensure they only deal with approved type cases? It will be interesting to see how this develops.
Yes, you can imagine they'll have to be trained. They'll have to obviously go around in cars and uniforms with rainbows on them, just like our police do. That's the first thing that'll probably happen. But I mean, whilst they're out there, risking themselves, because they are clearly they're not getting these stab-proof vests for no reason. When they do, risking themselves for the safety of others, effectively, you've got to ask yourself, what are the police doing? What do they do? Oh, yes, they're monitoring people like you and me, Jeff. That's right. Looking for unpleasant tweets. It's not helping. It's just, they're just assessing risks and ticking boxes at the moment. Yeah. And you've got the usual suspects, as you said previously. A group of usual suspects, I should say, who are like working around the clock. Activists calling this all a vigilante group, and implying that they're targeting refugees. This isn't very good. I mean, oh dear. It's like they're asking for these DBS checks, and the police, I think, have said that they, or hinted, maybe, I might be wrong on this, that they want people to be vetted properly first before they join this new group. And I'm thinking, well, why are you spending so much time asking for and expecting this group to be squeaky clean, yet that's a bad thing if they're not squeaky clean, or in your eyes, in the eyes of the authorities, yet it's fine for people to commit hideous acts on the streets of this country. And look, the people have had enough, Jeff. They've had enough.
Yeah, I know.
And that's why you're going to see things like this spreading.
Yeah. DDRC says it's not just Bournemouth, many seaside towns, even in places like Pembroke. And one comment here that I've caught from Alex, I'll be going this evening. There are a series of at least 10 protests due tonight, one of them in Bournemouth tonight. I saw something online about it, but I've not seen anything official. So I'm not sure numbers. I don't know if, I don't even know who's organising these things. And that's a really important thing, because if they're not properly organised and monitored, they can get out of hand. And that's not good for the overall cause. So, yeah, just be careful. Just be careful.
Well, absolutely. That's a very good point there, Jeff, because if these things are being organised, these get-togethers are being organised, say, hypothetically, by the far left, with the intention of it appearing to be some kind of protest, yet what they're actually achieving is trying to cause a bit of trouble and drag people into trouble, then of course, Jeff, we have to be very careful that we're in the middle of of a type of warfare that's going on in this country and across Europe at the moment, where psychological tactics are used, and very underhanded tactics are used to try and discredit other sides, and we must be aware of this, Jeff.
Oh, we must be, definitely. It's one of these things that it should be really worrying the police and the authorities when groups of people decide that they have to step forward to, in effect, replace the policemen that aren't there. I mean, we talked about the Met Police yesterday. They're going to see their numbers drop. And I'm sure that it's going to be the same across the country. As the economy contracts, what are they going to do? And everyone wants a pay rise, don't they? So I don't see anything positive about this at all. Nothing, in fact.
Yes, well, this is what happens, Jeff, when a nation forgets who it belongs to. And the people start, the people themselves start remembering themselves who this country belongs to. And, I'm very sorry. All we want is for things to take place above board, of course, and everything to be all squeaky clean ourselves. Of course we do. But at the same time, we are witnessing, and here we are, Jeff, just reporting on the fact that people have had enough, and they are going to start walking the streets themselves. And that's going to happen if the police have abandoned the streets. I mean, we can't say that the police have officially abandoned the streets. Of course, they have not. But it just appears that their policing does not seem to be effective. and doing the job that it should be doing. And that's a very sad state of affairs, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. And I cannot condone what Gary says.
Gary, naughty, naughty.
And as Triggered Christian says, so we have to police ourselves now. Well, actually, interesting topic, but the police are meant to be policing by consent. So therefore they are part of the community and we are meant to be policing ourselves. But it increasingly doesn't feel that way, does it, really? But there you go.
Well, there you go. As you said, it's like if police are, if locals are policing and patrolling the beaches around Bournemouth, nightlife zones and other areas, it's because the police apparently are missing in action. They're MIA. It just feels like the system doesn't care. They've got their money, to put people up in hotels, if you see what I mean. Yeah. And they've got money for DEI officers, of course, and certain flags that are flown everywhere, but not enough to keep British women and children safe, it appears, and men as well, incidentally. I shouldn't be sexist. If I leave men out, I'm being sexist, and that's awful, and I will not do that. Of course I won't. No, there we go. I didn't.
But we have Keir Starmer coming to save us all. He's our big saviour, and he's spouting off about his one in, one out policy. And he put out a video, didn't he? There's no speaking on it. It was just a lot of music and stuff, so I've cut that bit out. But this is basically the video. So all these people coming ashore, this is the one in, one out policy. They're all being lined up and tagged and sat down on chairs and all the rest of it. And it looks very serious, doesn't it? And then you get that. I said that if you enter this country on a small boat, you will face detention and return. I meant it. Oh, yes, I'm absolutely sure. But
Jeff,
what he forgets to tell everybody, I've got to say this, what he forgets to tell everybody is every single one of them we send back to France has to be replaced by someone coming from France to here. Now, even then, the only time that the French would ever send anyone back to us is if the courts have allowed us to send that person back in the first place, and France accepts them back, and we have to pay for it all. And then we take another one back in from France, so the numbers stay the same. Nothing changes. Except the replacement newcomers we get in return for those we send back to France instantly become, as far as I can see, totally legalised. And we can't send them ever back. So where's the benefit for us?
Jeff, can you play that video again? Because I do believe I've come across the transcript of the real transcript. I will read it out in real time as you play it.
Right, okay. I will add this to this. Where has it gone? Which one was it? That one. I'll have to rewind it, though. Rewound.
Okay. Here we go.
And adding.
There we go. Yes, here we go. In you go, chaps. Yes, off to 4-star hotel. That's right. Oh, here you go. Would you like an iPhone? Yes, here's an iPhone. And any dietary requirements, gentlemen? Any dietary requirements there? Oh, yes. Oh, okay. And ignore this bit of text. I just say this for the masses just to make sure that I appear to be doing something when I don't mean it. Yeah, sorry, that's the end of me reading the quote there, Jeff. Thank you very much for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did a pretty fair job of summing up what was done there. And that just really winds me up watching stuff like that when he's talking all tough like that. And let's wait and see when the first one goes and who we get in return. And I tell you what, I bet we never know. That'll all be shrouded in secrecy. The courts, there'll probably be a court order put out so that we never know who is coming into the country in return for the ones we send back in order to protect their identities, blah, blah, blah. You know, the usual thing. So, yeah. Yes.
What else have we got there, Jeff?
Oh, what else have we got? What else? I don't know what else we got.
Okay, well, I've got something here.
No,
Oh,
I'll
go on,
tell you.
go.
No, all right, go ahead, Richard. You go for it. Go for it. I know what you're going to say.
But maybe you don't. You see, just a few points here. Really, that the public are being. We mentioned this yesterday, and we keep saying that the public have been taken for fools. It's like you're walking past crimes every day in certain parts of this country that you really are, and it's in your face. And the public are just been trying to and the media especially, they're using words like vigilante, because the word vigilante, we mustn't forget, it's a weapon. It's weaponizing. Which is just people just standing up and saying, I don't actually want to get attacked or one of my relatives or friends to get attacked, so I'm just going to walk alongside them safely. It's been used to, this is a term that's been, vigilante, it's a word that's been used to almost like smear the working classes of this country, because they're the ones who will be turning up at these things. It would be your soy latte guzzling, home counties lot, to be honest with you, most of the time. No, this is going to start eventually it will, because as soon as it starts hitting home, it will. But as you said, this town isn't, Bournemouth isn't alone. You're looking at, you've got Sheffield, Skegness, Oldham, Cardiff, London, the same sort of level of abandonment, and eventually you'll start to see pushback in all of these places. Yeah, there's a lot of tension in this country, and we're looking at a very sort of rigged narrative being presented to us by the establishment propaganda arm, which is the media. Yeah, just some thoughts there.
I thought you were going to mention something that you mentioned earlier. Maybe that'll come later.
Oh, I can't read my own mind, Jeff.
You can't read your own mind. Oh dear me! It concerned concerned citizens on a train.
Oh yes, indeed. Yes, let me just. I've got something. Yes,
go
hang
on. Give us that one.
Okay, all right.
We
Jeff,
we will not be playing the video. We won't be playing the video, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that won't be happening. Oh yes, there was a bit of rudeness there. But it's right. I'll just send this over to you here, Jeff. See if you can see this. Because why haven't I gone into Prince Charles? Take a look at this, Jeff, and see if we can get it up on the screen for everyone to see.
Is this one here? Let's go for this one here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, I've cropped
the one.
It, yeah. Again, I've messed the cropping up. Basically, it's just saying that passengers are taking law into their own hands. And they tackled a naked man who terrorised carnage on London's Lawless tube weeks after mass brawl broke out at a station. And it says here, irate commuters have turned on a passenger who dropped his trousers in a packed tube train with children present and refused to pull them up, the Daily Mail can reveal. Police are investigating the incident on the Hammersmith and City line in East London yesterday at 3:30. This again, people are starting to. They're taking the law into their own hands in many respects, and this is what we can expect to continue happening. To be honest with you, I'm afraid to say, if the social contract is broken, and this is not good. We don't want this. We want the police to do their jobs, and that's what we want, Jeff.
Yeah, that will be the purview of the British Transport Police. The latest ones to arrest Tommy Robinson. And if you think of the way they treated him, those blokes who did from what I can see is the right thing, will probably have to front up to a police station and explain themselves.
Oh,
and
yes.
If they do, the whole nation should be really angry. If you go and watch that video, not now, but later, then you'll see exactly what I mean. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, carry on, Jeff.
No, go on. I'm just going through the comments at the moment.
Okay, yes. You can just see the way that the direction of travel. It's going back to the vigilantes in Bournemouth, the concerned citizens. I can't remember what they were called now. What are they called, Jeff? What's the name of them? Oh, good grief.
Who?
The group in Bournemouth. The people we're talking about in this live stream, Jeff?
Oh right, sorry. Yeah, I'm just been trying to remember myself. I've only just looked
You're
it up
Jeff. You're Jeff. You're
this
still
morning.
Jeff. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm Jeff. I'm still Jeff.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called the Safeguard Force. Safeguard Force.
That's it. Safeguard Force. It's great. That's why it's such a great name. That is. It reminds me of police force.
Except we can't remember it, Richard. It can't be that great because we can't remember it.
Yes, I know. No, that's because we're old, Jeff. Yes, but
oh right, okay, yeah.
These people, though, they're going to be subject to definite questioning at some point by the police. They'll be now that this has hit the media, they'll be trying to stamp this out, clamp down upon any kind of sort of civilians coming together to protect each other.
Yeah,
because they'll be calling people ringleaders. You could be talking about Doris next door. About who's about 85, who's like just looking out of her window. The neighborhood watch all of a sudden will start to become the enemy. That's the way it's going. Yeah, very, very, very strange. So these people who did this on the train, yeah. Very.
Now those going back to the safeguard, it's one of those things where they're out on patrol, 2 or 3 of them. I don't know how they're going to do it. They come across an altercation where they feel they must intervene. Physical intervention. Whose side will the law be on? And if they stand back and say, we'll call the police, if the police can't handle crime already, how will they handle that? So these people will end up having to do it, a citizen's arrest type scenarios. And they may have to sit there for hours with this person. Are the courts going to back them up? That's the big question I have. I'm not saying anything against them. They're trying their best. They're doing their thing and protecting their community. But what worries me is the establishment. I don't think they'll have their back. Not one bit. But that's just my view.
Of course they won't.
Anyway, what we're going to do now... We in the UK do have 1 or 2 politicians who really put their heads above the parapet. But maybe not as far as the Hungarian Prime Minister, Viktor Orban. So if I can now find that one, here we go.
An issue is so complicated. Legally, it's very simple, To cross the border line without a permission is a crime. Full point, it's over. The problem is that migration is a concept of changing the society as such.
Yeah.
It's a kind of replacement of the original native-born voters with somebody else. And this is, without being involved into any conspiracy theory, this is a well-detailed plan of the left. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because, my understanding of the history is probably not as sophisticated as yours, but if I understand correctly, the last 150 years of the European, including UK anyway, mm-hmm. The European politics, it's about a competition of 2 tribes. One is those who think that we should stay in the traditional frame and value system of Europe as it was. Nation, freedom, Christianity, that's all.
Yeah, he didn't actually go in, or the video didn't go on to the next bit where he was talking about the other people, obviously the open borders people. But he stands there and he says it like he thinks it is. He doesn't mince his words or his thoughts, and he boils it right down to basics, easily understood basics. And on the UK front, I do think we have maybe 3, possibly a few more. The ones that spring to my mind who are pretty straight talking about this stuff, Ben Habib, Rupert Lowe and Robert Jenrick. But I'm not sure that they're as publicly forthright as Orban is. I mean, what do you viewers think out there? Do you think that Orban's hit the mark there? And who do you favour of British politicians who are saying it like it really is? So it'd be interesting to know. What do you reckon, Richard?
I think it'd be interesting to see if Keir Starmer allows Viktor Orban to ever visit the United Kingdom again. I mean, after a speech like that, it's been far right. We cannot allow this person to come into our country before it is far right. Yeah, you can just see it. Great name, Viktor Orban. I nearly said Orban. but that just shows
No.
I'm very hungry on this lion diet. Yes.
Yes.
But no.
I mean, some people are saying already absolutely hit the mark, and yes, he's on the ball and stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, seems to be a growing sort of trend. I mean, you're seeing various countries. I mean, Poland as well. It's not just in Eastern Europe. A lot of the sort of countries in Europe are very different to the Britain and France and Germany. What I did read something quite catastrophic about Germany today, and I can't remember what it was. There we go. That's the memory going again. Let's have a little Google on that one there, Jeff. 2 seconds.
Yeah, you Google. As Spaceman says, generic, he was part of the problem for years. Don't be a silly dude. Well, I'll agree. Yes, I put my hand up. He's definitely part of the old guard, but is he a reformed old guard, or is he just part of the problem continuing and part of a sort of a we'll say this now, and when we get in, the first thing we'll do is do exactly what Labour did and say, it's all too difficult. We've got to keep the borders open because the UN says so. Because that's what it all comes from, really. Comes from there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just found the article I was looking for as well, and this is something which is very strange taking place in Germany right now. They've just decided they are going to be suspending military exports to Israel that could be used in the Gaza Strip. Now, this is a marked move. I mean, they've got their own woke chancellor now, Friedrich Merz, and so you've got this, you can see there's like a division taking place in Europe. You have the woke, liberal, lefty sort of countries, Britain, not that the people are, but in terms of their premiership, Britain, France and Germany in particular are the worst. And then you have people like Viktor Orban, who's talking a very, very different language altogether. And yeah, very interesting to see how this split within Europe will continue. Because what you're going to have is you're going to have two Europes at some point. Unless, of course, there is another election soon and that will see Starmer out. Because that will fracture the left, to be honest with you. It'll take away a lot of the impetus and the power behind the left in Europe. And I know that Britain isn't an EU member state anymore. Or is it? That's the question. Is Britain
that's
still
the question,
in the EU?
Yeah.
Is it de facto in the EU?
Oh, sorry, Richard, I've got to put this one up. It's from Stephen Garner. Viktor Orban is a regular guy.
Oh, look. Please, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen, please behave yourself.
Yes, definitely. Behave yourself, young man.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Yes, and thank you very much to Stewie Cthulhu. Thank you very much. We used to swing, draw and quarter people for less. Yes, we did.
Yes, but that was back in more barbaric times. We're a civilized nation now, and you can always tell a civilization and how civilized it is by the way it treats its most vulnerable, like the elderly, the weak, the infirmed, and people who serve this country now sleeping on the streets. But yes, you can always tell how civilized a nation is. Not so good.
Anyway, now it's not just Viktor Orban. There is a new 42-year-old Polish president, Karol Nawrocki. Or so I'm informed. This is a video of him showing a youngster how to do press-ups. 42 years old, and I'll just show you this. I'm saying that this is him, but and he looks the same in the as his picture, so I'm assuming it is. And those are fist press-ups. They're not easy. They're quite hard, those on the hands.
That's how I used to do them. Yes. Well done, that man.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have looked at that and then you compare that to like Keir Starmer with a punch bag. I mean, do you remember the Keir Starmer with a punch bag? You compare the two things and it's like, sorry, no. Those are two very different politicians quite clearly. But I used to do press-ups like that, Jeff, on the concrete cold floor of the garage when I was training many years ago, right through my teens, indeed, and used to go to karate, and that's how we used to do it. And that's the kind of I'm not into this masculine kind of rhetoric, because that should just be in our baseline anyway. Men should be, a little more toughened up, me included. Jeff, you need to toughen up as well, the pair of us. Yes, we need to
I do
more
definitely.
press up on the knuckles. On the knuckles now. There we go. 20 every morning before we get up for breakfast. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, then the other eyelid. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Now, before everyone goes into a meltdown and says, ooh, they want us all to be super strong and the politicians have to go around with biceps the size, or forearms the size of Popeye. No, it's all a bit of fun, actually. That's why they were doing it. They were laughing and smiling. It was fun.
No, I know, but I think we should. I think we need to all starting doing press-ups again. Come on, men of Great Britain and women. Yes,
Right.
women. You can do it as well.
Right. Everybody who wants to see Richard do press-ups on this show. There you go.
No, I didn't say. It's very difficult to do. Yeah, okay. All right, I'll just do 10 now. Hang on. I finished.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now,
Okay.
let's get serious. I very much doubt Viktor Orban would allow this in his country, nor Karol Nawrocki for that matter. We have an ardent pro-Palestine supporter, Sayed Hussein Mackey, who has allegedly praised dead Hezbollah leaders, recently running a fitness and religious education programme in the Peak District. And it appears it is for one religion only. I wonder which one that is. And further, Mackey was banned from entering Australia earlier this year after allegedly hailing the now killed in an Israeli airstrike Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah and called him one of the world's greatest freedom fighters, with Hezbollah being banned in the UK. So you do have to ask, what are the authorities up to here? Anyway, I'm wondering if there will be more of these camps, as reported recently by GB News. Now I've got to go and find that one. If I can find it. Here we go. A London-born radical Islamic preacher who praised deceased Hezbollah figures is all... I'm going to start that again. A London-born radical Islamic preacher who praised deceased Hezbollah figures is organising... Sorry, I didn't mean to say diseased. It just sort of slipped out. So, yeah, deceased... Shut up, Richard. You're making it worse. Oh, I hate working with him. He's dangerous to society. Anyway, he's organising a fitness and religious education programme in the Peak District this week, and this was about a week ago. Sayed Hussein Mackey previously grieved for associates of the Lebanese organisation, including a British national who perished while serving with Hezbollah and Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, to give it its proper name. So, there you go. We have this going on in this country. It took place, I gather, and you do have to wonder if any more of these will be coming. Now, can you imagine the furore were someone like, I don't know, Tommy Robinson to begin setting up something similar for our Christians, to be given lessons in Christianity, self-defence, and our true British heritage and history? Can you imagine the meltdown? Parliament would be recalled instantly to shut it down, and it would probably end up being prescribed, and the police would be sent in to arrest everyone. Full riot gear, horses, dogs, the lot. What do you reckon, Richard?
Oh yes, you can see it right now. I mean, don't forget, if people just getting together to celebrate St. George's Day, was it last year, and the riot police were out, with horses and shields and everything. So if there was a movement to actually a camp going away, oh my goodness. Every last soldier in this country, they'd actually start conscripting people. Jeff, they'd be bringing you back as well. They would. They'd be conscripting you back into the forces, and bringing you into the fray to shut this camp down. They'd be circling it like some kind of siege warfare type scenario, and everyone inside it, all the Christians would be rounded up, and it'd be, well, you can see it. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm exaggerating and being a bit of hyperbole, or maybe I'm not. I mean,
yes.
Yeah, these camps go on in this country, and yet at the same time you've got people in Bournemouth coming together just to patrol their streets, just to make sure they're safe, because the police aren't doing that, or appear not to be doing it, or they feel, I should say. They feel that they're not doing it. I should be quite accurate in this matter.
Now, one thing to bear in mind is if we do run these type of camps, and I don't know, the USA or Israel think we're training people here to attack them, what do you think they'll do? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? You could imagine a piece of real estate in the UK being attacked by fighter jets from the US and airstrikes from, oh dear me. So we better sort this out and make sure we aren't doing that.
Right,
someone's got on this. The old bag says we need to do sets of 20 to 4 and 5 sets. So
well, I'm
assuming that's the push-ups.
Yes, I'm going to be hopefully getting myself back. I'm terribly bad back these days, Jeff, with sciatica and all that.
The old excuse. Yeah.
Yes, but it needs to be done. It does need to be done, but first things first, diet, lion diet. I have lost. This is something I need to talk about. Right, this is important. ChatGPT came out last night, okay? And I said to ChatGPT,
Richard, the new version? The new version?
Yes, the new version, ChatGPT 5. Sorry, yes. The new version of ChatGPT 5 came out last night, sorry. Let's get accurate. Well said, Jeff. Well spotted there. Yes. I didn't know what I'd do without you. Anyway, what happened was I put in that I'd gone down from 20 stone 6 down to 19 stone 9 in 4 days of going on this one OMAD lion diet. Feeling pretty good as well with it, I can tell you now. And ChatGPT told me that I'd lost 13 pounds. And I was thinking, that's absolute rubbish. It's 11 pounds. Now, this is meant to be the most advanced AI on the planet at the moment, and it can't work out how much weight I'd lost in 4 days. Good grief.
There you go.
They need to sort this out.
Never trust AI. Never trust AI.
They need to sort this out. I mean, there's a lot of complaints about it. A lot of people are very enraged about it. Anyway, I'm completely off topic. Over to you, Jeff.
Right. Now, we're talking about proscribed organisations like Hezbollah in the last little thing. And I just want to follow this on proscribed organisations. There are now over 80 such organisations on the government's books, including Palestine Action, which could prove very interesting this weekend if they turn up with their 500 plus people and the police do exactly what they promised to do and arrest them all. Could be interesting. Now, as far as I'm aware, if a group does not appear on the UK government proscribed list, then it is not banned. And I'm sure a human rights lawyer would agree with that. And for the right sum of money, defend you belonging to such a non-banned group. So, I've scoured the proscribed list, but I can find no mention of the EDL. Nothing. How can that be? I mean, the EDL is vilified every day in the press, even more than any other group, isn't it? And the EDL doesn't even appear on the list of organisations that were deproscribed, i.e. unbanned. It's never been on the list, that's why. So if it is not proscribed and never was, and has now been shut down for over a decade, then membership of the EDL was never, ever illegal, was it? then why are so many fingers today pointing at the EDL as some sort of current existential threat, when a very cursory glance at the proscribed list itself will tell you where the real problems emanate from? But it's obvious, isn't it? Distraction from the real potential causes of harm in this country that the UK establishment can no longer control, or who they do not wish to control. By continually pointing at Tommy Robinson and the now defunct EDL. Tommy is not a threat to society. He is a threat to the woke brigade. And even when the EDL was active, a 2013 government petition to ban it didn't even get 30,000 signatures over the 6 months that petition was live for. Think on that one.
Very good point there, Jeff. I mean, was it MI5 in their list of the most dangerous threats to, in terms of terrorism to people in the United Kingdom, seem to focus on one group in particular, and I can't quite remember the name of those people. They seem to find that there is actually one major threat to this country, and it is a major threat, incidentally. This is not me being sarcastic in any way, shape, or form, but there is a threat to this country, and it doesn't come from people like the EDL. I've completely forgotten the name of this sort of overarching body that it seems to come from. Very strange, Jeff.
Yes, and thank you, Stewie Thulu, I think that is. Would this be Dovedale in the Peak District by any chance? I think that name did come up. Reported them many times. They have taken over that place. It's disgusting there now. Well, I wouldn't possibly want to comment on that. I mean, that's just a personal view.
Absolutely. We couldn't comment on that, Jeff. No, we can't comment on that. No, Online Safety Act, not allowed to comment on such things.
Yes. And thank you, James Bond, for your contribution. 007. No vote is ever wasted when we vote for Jesus and England. Pro Dia et Patria. Operation Wipeout 650 at the next general election. Yes, we need a thorough wipeout. Although there are one or two in there that might be worth keeping there. One or two. But very few, I think, from my point of view. I'd rather see I'd rather see a clear out of the Westminster bubble elite in the civil service and the hangers-on there. And I'd love to see the press become, I don't know, unbiased press again. Leave the bias to people like Richard and I.
Yes. Again, I don't think they've ever been unbiased.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. I will agree with that. Yes. Long live the IDF, says P. Wright. Yes. Now shall we come on to the gift that keeps giving?
Oh, go on, Jeff. What is this now?
Rachel Reeves.
Oh, yes.
Now remember yesterday when we talked about the now resigned Labour homelessness minister, Rushanara Ali, kicking out her tenants and then ending up reletting her property at a hugely increased rent. Well, this is what Rachel Reeves said about this sort of activity before the homelessness minister resigned.
Call for the housing minister to resign, having ended a tenancy and then charge an extra £700. It's not a very good look, is it?
I don't know the details, but Rushanara Ali seems to have done everything in accordance with the law, and I really don't understand why the Conservatives are calling for that.
Yes, the Conservatives were calling for her to step down. That's the bit that was missed out at the start of that clip, yeah. So, and she doesn't understand why the Conservatives are calling for we're calling for her to the whatever we call it minister to step down. Yes. Sorry, what minister was it again? Homelessness minister, was it?
Homelessness minister, yes. Now, what gets me there though is how clueless that woman looks. How clueless she looks. She doesn't understand much, does she? If she doesn't understand that someone pushing forward a law that would have stopped her doing what she actually did while she did it, if that law had been in place, the sheer hypocrisy of what she did, if she doesn't understand that, then what does she understand?
It's Labour.
And
It's just Labour. Yeah. Sorry,
yeah.
sorry, Jeff. Carey.
Well, she also got up to something else as well. I'm not sure when this was taken, but they need votes, don't you? You know that
Labour. Oh,
the
yes.
Labour Party
Yes.
needs votes. Well,
They do indeed.
Here you go. All nicely dressed,
What's she got
ready
on
to
there?
go.
Is that her sitting down there? Good grief! What she's I see what she's doing. She is, yes. What? Like, we mustn't mistake this for anything else other than a woman who is culturally respecting another
Absolutely.
group's faith and belief system, which means that she, as you know, a leading government minister who is leading by example, she's teaching us that we need to bow down to the cultures and respect the cultures and religions of other people. I mean, King Charles is very much along those lines as well. It seems the whole establishment is just, wear head coverings and segregation in places of worship, incidentally. That's another matter as well, between male and female. But, I mean, there we go. That's Britain. That's how we have to be now.
Yes.
We have to be respectful and welcome these people and just bow down. But we should. And this is not sarcastic. We should definitely do that, because otherwise I would be going against the Online Safety Act potentially. Even if I wasn't going against the Online Safety Act, I potentially could be, because we're all so paranoid about every single word that we say in this country right now. We don't know what the effing hell to do or say or think. We just try and somehow get through the day without getting a knock on the door from the old bill saying, oh, you've contravened this law, this act, this, you've done X, Y, and Z. Makes me sick. Sorry, Jeff. Over to you.
Yes. Well, thank goodness that at the moment elections are planned and that they still have little ballot boxes where you can go in and privately put a tick in a box before folding it and put it into a box. Then the box disappears somewhere. But at least you do it anonymously yourself. You vote anonymously. And while that goes on, the Labour Party is utterly stuffed, isn't it? Completely and utterly stuffed. So, how are they going to bodge that one then?
Digital IDs, I suppose, at some point. That's another thing that...
digital IDs. Well, it's a good job we have a Reform UK MP, Sarah Poachin, on the task, isn't it? On digital IDs,
right.
Because we know we're all personally, I'm against digital IDs, and I'm
absolutely
hoping that,
and reform are as well.
will...
All reform. If you're voting reform, you cannot possibly. Come on, let's face it. If you're right, before anything else goes on, if you're in reform now and you support reform, do you support digital IDs? Let's even get something in the comment section here. So all your reform supporters, just, and this is just for reform supporters. Do you support digital IDs? Will you be quite happy to have one yourself? Do you think it's a positive way forward? We got a no.
Big no. And no digital ID. Mark of the beast. No. Oh dear, no yeses. Anyway, so it's a good job we've got Reform UK MP Sarah Poachin on the task, isn't it? So this is what she said to, was it Talk TV? Yes, here we go.
ID cards, digital ID cards, is that something that Reform UK would support?
Well, look, I personally don't have a problem with an ID card. I don't see what the issue is. Most of our information now is on our smartphones anyway.
Can we trust the system, though?
Well, what more, how much more could we be at risk? As I say, all of our information is out there in a cloud, in the ether, whatever you want to call it. It's all available, isn't it? We can all be tracked now if somebody wants to track us.
No,
Interesting.
that couldn't have just happened there, Jeff. That would mean that Jeff, that must be AI. It must be AI, because otherwise it would suggest that Reform UK is not going to be a change, a vote for change, that it would be, otherwise it'd be continuation, wouldn't it, of the Uni Party? I mean, my goodness. In fact, it would even go further than what many Tories believe. That doesn't make sense, Jeff. That can't be true. Sarah Poachin, my days.
Yeah. Dave 101 says digital ID makes vote rigging easier. Anything that's electronic makes it easier for someone to hack it or for someone to fiddle about with it. The old tried and trusted way of actually having a ballot box that you put the vote in, then it should then be properly sealed, taken to the counting station where it should be opened before the observers, and then poured out on the desk so they can be separated out and counted. But what's happening more and more is those boxes are being opened in a back room. The votes are being brought out. And I don't like that.
Yes, it's not just that, though, Jeff.
I think that's, yeah.
The point here, though, is it says your digital IDs make vote rigging easier. Absolutely. However, they're being sold to the British masses, the public here in the UK, as something that will make vote rigging more difficult. So it depends on the framing. We're getting the framing from the media and from the establishment that, it's a good thing, we'll stop this, we'll stop that. And we all know that digital ID will then be linked to central bank digital currencies, etc., etc. We know the path we're on, it isn't conspiratorial. Yeah. It's right in front of us. When you've got, people say, conspiracy theorists, rubbish. That was just Sarah Poachin from Reform. That was her telling us, I don't personally have a problem with digital IDs. Oh, okay. Okay. You're quite comfortable with that then, are you? All right, fair enough. I think I will possibly not be voting for you in the future.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably thinking that right now, going, what exactly do you all believe in? There's only 5 of them and they can't agree. If one says one thing, the others say something else. What's going on?
And if somebody disagrees enough...
This will be dragged out.
Yeah,
In the end, if the party policy is this, not to have digital IDs, she'll be the target for it all the time now.
Yes, well, the thing is, as we've seen before with Reform UK, if you go against the higher echelons of the party too broadly, you'll be kicked out or you'll be demonised, and that's it. But they're all just signing these non-disclosure agreement things now, aren't they? And that's very, very, very dark days, Mr. Taylor.
Why?
Yes, indeed.
I mean, if someone said all MPs had to sign non-disclosure agreements and things, then we don't need that sort of thing. As far as I'm concerned, non-disclosure agreements should never be used to cover up misdeeds. These payoffs that some people get when they say they were whatevered by their boss or something. If the act was illegal, then non-disclosure agreement shouldn't apply. Just shouldn't apply.
Yeah, precisely.
The crime. Report the crime. And I know, it's easier said than done. No, I just say report the crime. And if they give you money to try and pay you off, the law should say you get to keep the money when you dob them in.
The thing here, though, Jeff, is, to be honest with you, I think that was quite a watershed moment when Sarah Poachin just said that. I was watching that myself, actually. I can't say it came as a surprise. Yeah. I faked being surprised, ladies and gentlemen. I was faking it. I'm terribly sorry about that. However, here we go. But when I saw that, I was like, do you know what? Here we are saying maybe, if there's an election tomorrow, vote reform because there might be an incremental improvement. If they are considering at any point digital IDs, no. F you. F off. Absolutely not. Don't care who you are. Splitting vote. Don't care whatsoever. Digital IDs, no.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we're going to go on to the next little snippet of news that may have passed people by, if I can find the right one, because it looks like UK agriculture is going the exact way that the UK establishment wants it to go, i.e. total destruction. This is on X from that well-known farmer, Jeremy Clarkson. It looks like this year's harvest will be catastrophic. That should be a worry for anyone who eats food. If a disaster on this scale had befallen any other industry, there would be a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth. Now, he's absolutely right. And if this harvest is going to be that disastrous, why aren't the usual suspects right now all champing at the bit, screeching climate change, etc., etc., etc.? Well, the reason I surmise is doing that would draw attention to the collapse of UK agriculture, and then bring out demands to give farmers the full support they need to keep producing food. And that is the last thing this government wants. The government has made it clear through its actions, not its words, through its actions, that UK food production and therefore UK food security is for the chopping block, for the purposes of net zero, of course, more land for wind farms and solar panels, as well as housing for newcomers, of course. And what will we be eating? Either imported food, bugs, or Franken meat and Franken dairy, Frankenstein foods. What do you reckon, Richard?
Well, I've had my fair share of that Frankenstein meat and stuff, because there was a time when I tried being vegan, made me very ill and fat. And I thought, right, this is not good. Okay, so I gave that up. And yes, I bought into that rubbish many years ago. I'll tell you now, I was first vegan was back in 1996, I think it was, 95, 96. That's when I first tried it. You see, I was ahead of the curve. I thought, yeah, you lot, you're not soy latte like me. I'm super soy latte man. And I was, and I tried it, and I gave it a go. Well, you have to try these things, don't you, to realise how stupid it is. Anyway, I did that in fact, I did that for 7 years. Wrecked my health, became grotesquely overweight. Yes, and in a not a very good way as well. I looked onto my paunch and I'm like, dearie me, that just won't do. Anyway, yes, so I have experience of these Franken meats, and they are utterly disgusting. And by the way, vegan cheese, have you ever tried it? There is no such thing as nice vegan cheese. It doesn't exist on this earth. The universe was not prepared to produce such a thing, and God would not even allow that to be a thing. There are many things which God will allow, but he would never allow vegan cheese to be nice. That is a fact. Don't forget it. And yes, that's the way it's going. Slight conspiratorial one here. I was looking at my garden and thought, yes, I thought, hang on, it's looking a bit yellowy. It's not, things are not looking too good in a garden, and it's always been very good, my garden has. And I looked and my neighbours weren't looking that great either, and I sort of went outside and wandered, and I thought, hang on, the countryside is not looking so healthy this year. Something's not right. Now, I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. It's almost as if they were spraying something in the air over our houses. You never know.
Oh, come on, Richard. Come on.
Oh, no, I know that's a push too far for many of you, but it was very strange, and I thought, this doesn't look right. I'm somebody who's lived in the countryside all his life, pretty much, and I looked around and thought, doesn't look quite right today. Something's up. Something's off. So there we go.
Oh dear, looks like I'm for the chopping block. Mag says people over 60 are on a list of people they want to imprison. Yes, thank you very much. Someone mentioned the name of Ant Middleton earlier on in the stream as well. Looks, as far as I can see, like he may have been replaced as the Reform candidate for the mayoralty.
Yeah, I did.
I'm not sure how true that is. Yeah. And if that's true, they've replaced him with a woman, I can't remember her name, who's a moderate something. I can't remember exactly. You'll have to look that up yourself, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, well, we don't know. We don't know is the long and short of it. That might be absolute rubbish. We don't know. I mean, these are all just hearsay, aren't they, Jeff?
Yeah.
But we have to, all we're doing is pointing out what people are saying and the silly rumours that the people are saying, all these conspiracy theories. And Made of Stars, Strictly Carnivore, absolutely, that's where I'm heading now. Get back to it. I feel great. Great, I feel, yes.
Right, I'm going to have to check something up on Twitter.
Oh.
Just see if I can confirm it. Because there's a comment here. I'll just show the comment, actually. It says, they've got over 30,000 now, so they're live. Now, if that's the case, I'm assuming this is referring to Advance UK. Now, if Advance UK has got over 30,000, that means it's soon going to be turned into a party.
Yes, because Ben Habib will then put forward 100,000 of his own money, £100,000 of his own money, and bring it into actually manifesting into being a political party. That's very interesting. Well, it couldn't. If that is true, then that couldn't come quick enough. If you have reform looking at digital IDs coming into this country, then sorry, that's it. That's it. I don't want to hear about vote splitting at that point. Sorry, don't care. Don't care. There needs to be some serious backtracking on that by reform ASAP.
Yeah, sorry, I just went to the wrong website. I'm trying to find this. Doesn't seem to be anything.
It's Twitter. It's called X these days, Jeff. It's not Twitter anymore.
X. Yes. No, I'm on X. I keep calling it Twitter because I'm so old. You know, it's like calling missiles
Jeff and
cannonballs.
Technology. Yes, it's Jeff and Technology. It's a frightening thing.
No, I can't see any confirmation of that, but it does sound interesting because I know the numbers were approaching that. The numbers were definitely approaching that level, and I'd have to check up on a couple of other sources I've got to check that out. But yeah, if it is, then that's great. Fantastic news. Yes, there you go.
Do we have anything else left in the tank there, Jeff, at all there in the...
No, we rattled through quite a few stories there, and yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we said at the start of this video...
Lady J from Northern Ireland says, I'm a carnivore. I'll never stop eating meat.
Absolutely.
Shut up, Richard.
Anyway, Jeff, so thank you all for watching the show today. And God bless you all. And please do like and subscribe. And if you really like what we do, become a channel member. And over to you, Jeff.
Yes, and remember, don't be diseased. It's not... Look, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for taking part. And we had a bit of a laugh today, which was quite good. And on that note, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him. Goodbye.
Goodbye.